And this is the man Winstone has got to beat. Coming into the ring behind the Mexican flag, the champion of the world, Vicente Saldivar. 22 years old, champion of the world for almost a year. Beaten only once in his 26 fights. And what an occasion this is tonight. This is undoubtedly the greatest occasion in British boxing that we've had for 14 years, since in fact the night in this very arena, Earl's Court in London, when Randolph Turpin of Britain beat the, we thought, unbeatable Sugar Ray Robinson for the middleweight championship of the world. I haven't known as much excitement in British boxing since that night 14 years ago. Scene, the very emotional scene at Earl's Court Arena just about 24 hours ago. Now, where is Howard Winstone tonight? The answer is that he is back among his own people, the people of Merthyr. There is the scene in the town hall of Merthyr Tydvil, where Winstone tonight is being given a civic reception. We've installed television screens there, and tonight Winstone, his family, his manager, and all his friends and relations in Merthyr are again going to watch the featherweight championship of the world, the bid by Winstone to win the title from Saldivar of Mexico. I can't remember when a British fighter has had more support than Winstone has got here tonight. Winstone, who sat in his corner while they were singing the Welsh anthem, and he was singing it himself. Winstone, the master boxer. Saldivar from Mexico from the left-hand corner. The southpaw, the man they call in Mexico, Il Zuco de Oro, the left hand of gold. The big punch is in the left hand. The puncher from the left, the boxer from the right. Britain hoping to win a world title, the featherweight championship of the world, the one title which Britain has failed to win. No Briton has ever won the featherweight championship of the world in the history of modern boxing. Saldivar, broad-shouldered, squat, a sworn-off figure against the rather taller figure of Winstone. Winstone some 2 inches taller and about 2 inches longer reach. If Winstone is going to win this, he's going to win it with boxing. There are 15 rounds to go. Can Winstone keep out of trouble for 15 rounds? If he can win. But one careless move, and Saldivar is going to keep out of trouble. The left, the first one from Saldivar, and Winstone took it on the chin and he didn't flinch. Winstone, the little master of the left hand, the best left hand boxer we've produced perhaps this century. Saldivar. This opening round is interesting because we're looking to see if he's got speed to go with the punch, because if he's got speed, this is going to kill Winstone. If he can match Winstone for speed, then the British champion is going to be up against him. Winstone can push this left hand in and out, can move faster than Saldivar. And the World Championship is short within his grasp. The champion of the world, Vicente Saldivar from Mexico, 22 years old, one of 9 children from the back streets of Oaxaca, nearly 300 miles to the southeast of Mexico City, some 5,000 feet above sea. Champion of the world for almost a year. He beat Sugar Ramos of Cuba last year to take the title and became the 8th Mexican-born fighter to claim a world title. The 26-year-old challenger from Wales, from the Welsh mining valleys, who has so much support here, trainload after trainload of Welshmen, has come into London today to give this boy all the support he could possibly ask for. Saldivar, champion of the world. Well, this is the man who is sure to be strong, because we know that he can produce a knockout punch as late as the 15th round, which he did when he defended the title earlier this year. Round 3. This is the fight that authorities from all over the world, members of the World Boxing Council, are here tonight watching this. This is the fight they've called the perfect match. The artist Winstone from Wales against the fighter, the little two-fisted southpaw slugger, the sawn-off Marciano, they call him, Saldivar from Mexico. Typically Mexican looking with that pencil line moustache, and obviously strong. Winstone doesn't want to try too often. He doesn't want to go in there mixing it with Saldivar. His aim should always be to box. He's trying that right hand often and getting it home to the face of the southpaw. These are dangerous punches for Winstone in the 3rd round. Saldivar opening up. They're all hooks. Don't hold. Bill Williams, the referee, to Winstone. And Winstone showing disturbing signs of wanting to mix it. He does this occasionally, much to the annoyance of his corner. They don't want him to go in and mix it. They want him to stay away from the box. And he's getting caught with more punches to the head than he should be in this round, Winstone. Blinking a little from the effects of it. Speed and science, these have got to be Winstone's main weapons. Well, in the nearly 17 years that I've been covering boxing professionally, I don't remember seeing any British fighter go into the ring with more chance of winning a world title than Winstone has here tonight. He really has got a good chance if he can keep out of trouble for 15 rounds. This is a tall order. Earlier this year, in his sole defense of this title, Saldivar met Raul Rojas, California, in Los Angeles, and he stopped him with 10 seconds to go at the end of the 5th 15-round fight, and that'll give you some idea of how strong this man can be after having boxed almost the full championship distance. So this is the sort of tough opponent that Winstone faces. If only boxes,
Round 5.
Winstone, I think, can do it. He must get away from those ropes. That is one of the major faults of Winstone. He gets himself trapped on the ropes and he's cut. Winstone is cut over the right eye. That's the one suspicious. And now it's cut. A thin line across the right eyelid. Winstone cut in the 5th. Well, that can be considered a major setback for Welsh British hopes. And that came about in that little session on the ropes there, where he must never get trapped. Now Winstone has a burden to carry, because now he's got to protect his right eye. Slip. It's got to be left hand work now, with the right hand up to protect the eye, and the work fast to keep up. Little man this Saldivar is. When he thinks he's on top, he's relentless. Well, you don't become champion of the world without that sort of quality. Coming to the end of the 5th, and this has been an unhappy round for Winstone. There's the bell, and now there'll be some quick and urgent repairs on that right eye. He's got the boxing ability, he's got the footwork, he's got the left hand, but he seems to me at the moment to be throwing a lot of this advantage away by standing in the center of the ring, trying to trade punches with Saldivar, trying to duck and weave out of trouble rather than scoot around the ring and keep away from it that way. One low one, and the champion of the world is cautioned for a low punch. left-hand work from Winstone, and their right. This is his major weapon, and he's not using it enough. And those ropes again. Winstone has certainly not been allowed to settle down into any sort of rhythmical stride. He hasn't got his left hand going, and he's being pressurized a lot by this incessant two-fisted punching of the world champion. And things at the moment are not going entirely Winstone's way. That's more like it. Jab and move, jab and move. This must be Winstone's policy, and why doesn't he do it more? Sixth round completed. Howard Winstone, the Welsh challenger, the British and the European featherweight champion. There have only been two Welshmen in the history of boxing who've won world titles. One was Jimmy Wilde at flyweight, the other was Freddie Welsh. Wilde was champion from 1916 to 23 and Welsh lightweight champion from 1914 to 1917. So it's over 40 years since Wales have produced a world champion. So you can understand the Welsh fervour at the ringside tonight. Winstone apologizes for a punch which slipped low. This could go either way, and it certainly hasn't turned out to be the sort of contest we expected. It's not so cut and dried in styles and contrast of styles. It's not the complete fighter Saldivar against the complete boxer Winstone, because Winstone has chosen to slug it out a little bit more, to stand there and mix punches rather more than we expected, and perhaps a little more than is healthy for him. Working all the time. Two fists, all hooks. Strong as a little bull. Round 8. Which of these two is going to tire first? Which is going to wilt first under this pressure? They really are setting a pace now. This looks to me like one of the vital rounds of this fight. They're testing each other here to the utmost for stamina. No further trouble from that right eye of Winstone's. It's hardly bled at all since it was cut. Some of these punches landing with the inside of the glove from the Mexican. Maybe it's as well they are. Beautiful defensive work. Beautiful. And they're going over his shoulders and around the back of his head and everywhere but on the top. But come away from those ropes. It's a good Yes, this is warming up now, there's no doubt about it. This one is really coming to the boil now. 8 rounds. And one feels that we're getting very much towards the vital stages now, because something has got to give here. One or the other of these has got to give. The pace is pretty tough, and they're both taking a lot of punches. And who is going to be the first to crack? Seconds out, round 9. And still anybody's fight. Again, Winston favours this 1-2, the left and then the quick right cross. He's getting it home to the head. This leathery skinned Mexican showing no marks at all on his face. A minute to go in this 9th round, and it's noticeable that Saldivar has been a lot less effective in the 9th. A lot less. So far this has been very much Winston's round, one of the clearest for him. Non-stop barrage from this Mexican. But Winston managed to evade most of them. And that left hand going in. He's getting underneath, ducking underneath most of these hooks, Winston. Coming to the end of the 9th. Blob of grease on the left eye of Winstone, guarding against a cut. It's now beginning to take the shape we expected, the strength of the Mexican against the artistry of Winstone. This is the pattern it's now beginning to assume very definitely. Which is going to triumph? he's shown in previous fights, Saldivar can be dangerous right to the very last bell. And he's looking extremely dangerous in this 10th round. Winstone is beginning to flag a bit. He's taking a lot more punches in this round, Winstone. He's looking a bit perturbed. His left eye isn't looking too good either. Come on, has he got the strength here to keep going with this Mexican, to match him punch for punch, to keep poking that left eye? The Mexican getting signals from his corner to move forward. Come on, come in. They want him to keep going in. A minute left of the 10th. Vital round for Winstone, this. Winstone getting caught very often in this 10th. Punches are getting through. Mouth beginning to bleed. You can see the pink on the sheet. Ominous signs that this Mexican is getting too strong, being too strong for this. 5 rounds left. He's still there. But has he got the strength to rally now against a man who seems to be still very strong? That was the hardest round Winstone has had yet. 11th round. 5 to go. There's a tough one. Well, there's an occasional sign now in this 11th that Saldivar is beginning to feel the strain a bit. His mouth's beginning to come open. He's breathing a bit hard. And he's glad of the odd rest. Notice occasionally he's dropping his arms now. Glad of a little breather in this round, the Mexican. Saldivar made a big effort in the 10th, and it may have told quite a bit on him. To look at white face too, Saldivar. He's definitely showing signs of strain. Now there looks to be a sign of a cut over Winstone's left eye. Just over half a minute left of the 11th, and this strong, tough little Mexican beginning to come strongly again. 30 seconds to go. There can't be the force behind him there was. but he's still producing the punches. Well, you can see for yourself that they're both showing signs of extreme tiredness. The punching is getting ragged and wild, and it's not to be wondered at because they really have been going at a pace. And these two are giving everything. There's the end of the 11th. And Winstone is trying for his very life here. This is the only ambition, of course, that he's got left in boxing, to win the world title. The one thing that's left to him to win. This is the peak moment of his life. And there are 4 rounds to go. But an awful lot is going to depend on these last 4 rounds. Second up, round 12. Looking marked to both eyes. Certainly cut over the right, and the beginnings of one over the left. And Saldivar's own face now beginning to look a little worn, but still, you can see, very strong. More punches from the world champion landing, and Winstone's managing to get in the 12th. Now after those crucial 10th and 11th rounds, it's looking at this moment as though the stronger of the two men is the world champion. Winstone bleeding from the nose. Winstone's still got all his wits about him, but has he got the strength to produce his best boxing? And Saldivar is determined to storm his way through everything. As the 12th ended, and there are 3 to go, and this man's title is at stake. No British boxer, no British-born boxer has ever won this 9-stone championship. Can Winstone break the hoodoo? 13th round. This man's strength, Saldivar, seems to be inexhaustible. Perhaps we suspected this from that performance against Rojas earlier in the year, when he stopped him with 10 seconds to go after 15 rounds. And here he is demonstrating that strength once more. If anything beats Winstone here, it will only be the strength of this Mexican slugger. Make no mistake, Saldivar is feeling this. He's feeling the strain himself. His mouth drops open every now and again. He has to rally himself to come forward with another burst of punching. And now Winstone is bleeding again from the left eye, and a trickle of blood running down his cheek. Round 13. And another unlucky one for Winstone, because he's cut again. And he's cut underneath the eye this time, Winstone. The signs of battle all over his face now. Saldivar had a good round there. And now we can expect to hear the Welsh fervour, and there are 10 or 11,000 Welshmen in this audience tonight. This is where they're going to begin to roar for Winstone. And at this stage, he'll need all the encouragement he can get. Winstone is looking very marked around the eyes now. Oh, that's a good left hand. That's the favourite Mexican punch. Winstone now almost too tired to do much about it. It's all Saldivar now. The superior brute strength of the Mexican, really telling. Nothing Winstone can do can stop him coming forward. Well, if Winstone was ever worried about letting anybody down, he needn't worry, because whatever happens here, he's let no one down. This has been a tremendous display by Winstone, full of courage, full of gameness, put everything here. He's tried to box, he's tried to fight his man, but it looks as though strength is going to turn. Winstone's mouth hanging open, the eyes marked, the punches coming out, but nothing behind them, and the legs like lead. Winstone now fighting by instinct. It's all Saldivar, coming to the end of the 14th. And he's got Winstone going, there's no doubt about it. The Welsh challenge is fading out. He hardly knows where he is, Winstone. This is so sad, it really is. To hear that bell. And there is one round to go. 3 minutes for Winstone to try to become the third Welshman to win a world title. But it now looks impossible. It looks as though the chance is gone. The Welsh dream has faded away under the strength of this incredibly strong Mexican, Vicente Saldivar. The last round. Can Winstone do it? It looks impossible.
Last round.
Look at Saldivar, still coming forward, still very strong. He came through those middle rounds when it looked as though he might be flagging. He got through it, he found his second wind, and here he is now, as relentlessly strong as ever. And Winstone just wants to hang on. Come on, Winstone, says this crowd. Come on, boy. Halfway through the last round. Half a minute left. And still Winstone is standing there trying to box this man. It's a wonderfully game and gallant performance from Winstone. And a tremendous show of strength by the Mexican as we reach the closing seconds. There it is, and it's over. The championship is over, and it's Saldivar, still the champion. Vicente Saldivar of Mexico is still champion of the world, and the Welsh challenge has failed, but it's failed so very, very gallantly. Howard, you know that there are quite a few people on that ringside who thought you won this fight. Would you agree with that yourself?
Well, Eddie said it was close. I just got pipped, you know, and that's it.
Did you think it all hinged from about the 12th onwards?
I think so, yeah. Well, Eddie said, you know, he came in strong, cuffing and pushing, 13th and 14th. I came back to 15th.
How does he compare with other men you've met? Is he far and away the toughest man you've ever met?
Well, one of the strongest. I won't say the best puncher, though, you know. He was pushing and cuffing me a lot. Like.
He didn't have quite the class that I expected to see from him. I mean, a strong man, but not much else.
No class, no.
Do you feel that you might have boxed, you know, hit and run a little bit more than you did? You were a bit inclined to stand and try to trade right hands with him once or twice.
Well, he wasn't hurting me, and Eddie said throw some good right hands, which I did. But as I said, he wasn't hurting me. He was cuffing more than anything, you know. So.
How much of a letdown is it to you that you've come all this way, you've got the fight you wanted, and now it's gone? How big a disappointment is it to you?
Well, I'm more sorry for my people, my friends who came up to watch me, you know. I did my best. They all seem happy, so that's the way it is.
I don't think nobody feels that you've let them down. I don't think you needn't worry about that.
Well, that's all I'm worried about anyway.
But what about your career now? Is this
Is this a turning point? Does this mean that you're now thinking of getting out of the game? Or are you going
no,
on?
there's still a lot of money to be earned, and I'm going away on holiday, coming back, and it's up to Eddie to get me, try and win another belt. I owe Eddie a belt, so...
You owe him a belt?
I owe him a Lancet belt, promising one, and I'm trying to get one now. And then hope to fight Saldivar, whoever's champion again.
Uh-huh. Would you go out of the country to take a world title fight?
It's entirely up to Eddie, what he says.
Was there any point in the fight when you definitely thought, well, this is it, I'm going to win this title and he can't stop me? Did you feel as confident as that?
It was close all the way through. I knew he wouldn't stop me because he wasn't punching as I said he would. He was slapping, cuffing, pushing, you know, he was strong. But he wasn't hurting me.
Were you ever near to going down at all? The 14th looked like a really rough one for you.
Well, he hit me and hurt me, but enough to go down, you know. Still felt strong.
You picked up a few cuts. I remember seeing you cut quite as many times. They're not bad ones, but the little ones and they're around your eyes. Did it worry you too much?
A couple of little nicks, no, my corner, they done a good job there.
How many of your family were here tonight watching you?
Oh, maybe 60.
60?
Yes.
In the family?
Well, in-laws, everything, you know, all counted.
Have they all been in to see you since this? Or?
Well, my wife and my mother have been in, and they're happy, they think I won it, you know what women are.
There are a few people out there, apart from your relations, who think you won it. But obviously it was
a close fight.
touch and go after the fight, I thought.
Yeah, good fight.
So now what?
And I'm going to win all these next week. Come back and start my career all over again, I hope. Try and get another fight in.
Not quite at the beginning.
Well, I'll start training when I come back home, and it's up to Eddie then. We can get me to fight, and I'm still young and I'm not hurt at all.
Well, we wish you all the best, Howard.
Thank you,
we'd love
Eddie.
to see you get another chance because I think we all thought that this was one fight that we really had a good chance in, and you came very close to it.
Thank you very much.
So let's hope next time you come, right there.
Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you, Howard.
A sad little scene, as it always is, of course, in the losers' dressing room on that Harry Levine.